How many opportunities have slipped away just because we didn't know how to start a call properly? How many potential customers have disappeared after just a few minutes of seemingly good conversation? The more effort we put in, the less result we seem to get. Many newcomers feel discouraged when every effort meets silence. No responses, no reactions, no sales. The problem doesn't lie in capability, but in using the wrong approach from the very first step. Sales skills are not innate, and being a smooth talker is not enough. Only those who master the right structure can retain customers, secure contracts, and sustain a career. To overcome the frustrating and challenging early stage, you must start with principles few talk about, but anyone who follows them sees a clear difference. Part 1. Shattering illusions about traditional sales. Many people enter sales with a backpack full of outdated beliefs. They think being quick, talkative, and likable is enough to close deals. They act based on second-hand experiences from people who never truly succeeded in sales. They believe they understand customers, while in reality, they don't know what's actually going on in the customer's mind. This not only renders their efforts meaningless, but also robs them of the chance to build a professional presence in the modern market. Continuing to operate with outdated thinking turns the salesperson into a stereotype customers are tired of. They repeat mistakes, talking too much, listening too little, and lacking a clear process. Worse still, the ineffectiveness doesn't strike immediately. It silently erodes performance over time. Every rejection without understanding the reason chips away at their confidence. They begin to doubt themselves instead of questioning their approach. Without change, the inevitable outcome is silently quitting a brutally competitive industry. The first thing to do is to strip away outdated layers. Don't play the role of a humorous, subservient salesperson trying to win favor with social tricks. Aim to be an information coordinator, someone who asks the right questions at the right time and guides the customer in exploring their problems. Everything starts with the awareness that what you're doing may no longer be effective. Only when you shed the illusions can you create space to build a new identity, a more effective, composed, and confident version of yourself. Don't wait until failure forces you to change. Start today by reviewing all the behaviors you repeat in your sales conversations. Are you talking too much? Are you truly listening? Are you guessing customer needs instead of verifying them? Write down 3 things you'll stop doing and 3 things you'll start doing under a new approach. Every major change begins with being honest with yourself and a decisive choice to stop getting it wrong. Once you've dared to abandon old molds, the next step is to redefine your professional identity. Who are you in the eyes of your customers? Part 2. Redefining the salesperson's identity. Most people imagine a great salesperson as energetic, humorous, loud, and always able to liven up the room. But those days are over. Today's market doesn't need someone who impresses in the first 5 minutes, but someone who can read psychology, interpret body language, and respond to silence. True skill lies in the ability to guide conversations with purpose. Anyone still clinging to the fun, enthusiastic image without depth is removing themselves from the group of truly influential individuals. Trying to be likable may win affection but doesn't lead to action. Worse, it positions you as an outsider, someone lacking the capacity to guide decisions. Today's customers aren't looking for someone who shares their taste. They seek someone who provides certainty. If you don't break free from the cookie-cutter image, you'll blend in with thousands of other sellers. They'll forget you as quickly as they skip an annoying ad, simply because your approach lacks a clear foundation. What you need to do is reshape your role in the eyes of the customer. Don't think of yourself as a pitch person, but as someone paving the way for sound decision-making. Take control of the conversation through timely questions, calm demeanor, and the ability to read context. Every call, meeting, and email is a chance to demonstrate the leadership of a guide, not a beggar. Practice the mindset of leading instead of pleasing, and you'll start seeing changes. Once you've reshaped your role, the next step is to change your communication, starting with abandoning the habit of talking excessively without control. Part 3. Ending the talk more to sell culture. The most common mistake among new salespeople is thinking that talking a lot equals influence. They endlessly go on about the product, the company, the features, the price, unaware that the listener is gradually tuning out. Customers don't come to hear you talk. They come to be understood. Every minute you spend talking about yourself is a minute you're not learning about them. And when you don't understand them, every solution becomes meaningless. They don't need a pitchman. They need a partner to solve real problems. The excitement of talking too much can create the illusion that you're doing well, but in reality, you're losing control. You miss cues from the customer. You fail to notice changes in tone, facial expressions, or subtle warning signs. Instead of building a connection, you make the other person feel pressured. They resist you, rather than walk alongside you. A conversation lacking real dialogue is a primary reason many deals die early. And it has nothing to do with the product, only how you choose to communicate. The essential shift is changing your role from presenter to dialogue facilitator. Your goal isn't to speak well, but to listen effectively. Limit your talking time, increase the number of open-ended questions, and make room for strategic silence. Learn to pause after each question so the customer has time to react. Take careful notes on every clue they share. When they speak more than you, the opportunity to sell arises naturally, and that's when real trust begins to form. To make conversations more effective, you need a clear roadmap, a structured, non-randomized sales system. Part 4. Structured selling. One of the biggest reasons new salespeople fail is entering calls or meetings without a clear structure. They think they can wing it emotionally and react on the fly. But that's not flexibility, that's lack of direction. Without a roadmap, you'll become confused when customers ask tough questions or when the conversation drifts off course. And just one moment of hesitation can cost you the upper hand in the game. Lack of structure forces you to think while speaking, which drains your energy quickly. You're talking, thinking of the next move, and guessing the customer's reactions all at once. This leads to mistakes, forgotten details, and missed critical points. Customers can sense this lack of coherence and lose trust. In a highly competitive environment, there's no room for sloppiness. Those who aren't well prepared and don't follow a consistent process will stay stuck forever. The effective solution is to adopt a proven sales process and master it like martial arts, every stance, every technique, every counter. Practice until you don't need to think. You just know what to do next. Write out the steps to take before, during, and after every interaction. Repeat until your actions become second nature. When your system is both flexible and solid, you don't just sell better, you feel in control of the entire game. Having a good system isn't enough. You also need to personalize every interaction by proactively researching your customer before each engagement. Part 5. Personalization through customer research. Today's customers have too many options and too little time. They don't respond to generic sales pitches. They only pause when they feel you truly understand who they are. To achieve that, you must enter the conversation equipped with information about your prospect. You don't need to spend hours researching, but you can't show up empty-handed either. Their name, role, company, recent public posts, all are data points to craft a personalized message right from the opening line. If you skip this preparation, you're leaving customers wondering, does this person really know who I am? And the moment they silently answer, not really, you've lost their attention, something very difficult to regain. Generic cold calls and mass emails are not just ineffective, they damage your personal brand. The market does not forgive laziness. Successful people always arrive prepared. When customers realize you know more about them than most, you immediately gain a competitive edge. To apply this effectively, build a short research routine before every outreach. Use platforms like LinkedIn, company websites, or any public content they've shared. Note 3 personal details and use them to start the conversation or ask a thoughtful question. This seemingly small act creates significant psychological resonance. When customers see you've invested time in them first, they're more willing to give you their time during the rest of the interaction. Once you have solid customer data, the key to influence lies in asking the right questions, at the right time, with the right focus. Part 6. Impactful questions drive influence. In modern sales, the ability to ask questions isn't just a skill, it's a strategic weapon. Most salespeople ask for the sake of asking, to check boxes, or they ask, but don't listen to the answers. The right question opens a new door in the customer's thinking. It doesn't just clarify, it forces reflection and draws out insights the customer hadn't yet recognized. One well-crafted question can shift the dynamics of a call, turning you from a persuader into a decision-making guide. If you ask only to collect data, the customer will feel interrogated. If you listen only to reply, not to understand, they'll feel manipulated. When questions are recycled from outdated scripts and lack depth, you quickly lose control of the conversation. At that point, the customer regains dominance, and you're left reacting like every other salesperson. In a world where everyone is trying to talk, the person who knows when and how to ask is the one who truly influences. Instead of asking, "What do you need?" Try, "What's the most important change you're trying to make this quarter?" Don't stop at product-related questions. Dig into motivations, internal conflicts, and consequences of inaction. Ask about their strategic priorities. Learn to layer your questions, from surface level to core issues. These questions prevent shallow answers. They require serious thought. And in that moment, you begin laying the foundation for a trust-based relationship. To enhance this skill, practice writing 10 open-ended questions for each customer segment you serve. For every meeting, choose 3 to 5 questions that best fit the context. Don't read them robotically. Infuse your questions with genuine concern. Take note of the responses to uncover behavioral patterns and customer priorities over time. When you reference exactly what they said earlier in later parts of the conversation, they'll be surprised, because you'll be one of the rare few who actually listened. Even with excellent skills, you won't perform at your best if you're still gripped by the fear of losing a sale. Part 7. Fearlessness in the face of lost sales. Many salespeople act as if failure is not an option. They cling to every call, become anxious when met with silence, and panic at the first sign of rejection. This mindset leads them into each conversation carrying a heavy burden. They must close the deal. But the more they cling, the more they lose their natural presence. Customers can sense the desperation no matter how well you try to mask it. And when someone seems desperate to sell at all costs, they are perceived as less valuable. Losing a deal is not failure. Holding on to fear is the real defeat. Shift your perspective. The goal isn't to close every deal, but to identify the right game to play. Not everyone needs your product, and that's perfectly fine. Filtering for the right customers saves you time and energy. Approach each call with the mindset, if it's a fit, great. If not, we wish each other well. This makes you stronger. When customers sense you're not under pressure, they trust you more. Calmness isn't just a communication skill, it's a silent form of persuasion that few possess. Once you're no longer burdened by the need to make the sale, you can enter the conversation as an equal, the essential condition to be truly respected. Part 8. Thinking as an equal with customers. Many salespeople unintentionally place themselves beneath the customer. They speak hesitantly, are overly deferential in responses, and always try to please rather than guide. This posture distorts the entire sales process. Customers begin to control the rhythm, set the rules, and evaluate you like a job applicant. And no matter how talented you are, your value diminishes simply because of how you position yourself. Someone offering real solutions cannot behave like someone begging to be heard. If you want to be treated as an expert, you must behave as an equal. This doesn't mean arrogance or resistance. It means equality in value exchange. You're not selling to gain approval. You're offering a solution to help them make the right decision. So, practice speaking directly. Use clear language. Don't over-apologize or beat around the bush. Maintain upright posture, both in voice and message. Customers won't just listen to you. They'll begin to assess you at the level of professionalism you project. Holding this equal footing helps you break free from the compulsion to convince, and instead fosters a mindset of discovering true fit. Part 9. Letting go of the persuasion mindset. One of the biggest misconceptions about sales is the belief that you must persuade someone to buy something they're not ready for. That thinking is outdated, counterproductive, and emotionally draining for both parties. If you're trying to change a customer's mind, you're going against the natural flow of their real needs. They'll feel pushed, disrespected, and immediately shut down. In a world full of options, the successful salesperson isn't the one who pressures. It's the one sharp enough to identify the right match. Instead of focusing on how to make them say yes, shift your focus to discovering whether there's even a good reason to move forward. If not, walking away at the right time is the smartest move. When you let go of the need to close at all costs, you'll feel lighter, sharper, and more in control of the process. Train yourself to spot early signs of mismatch and be bold enough to exit with grace. Customers won't remember you for your smooth pitch, but for how respectfully you treated them. To maintain this mindset long-term, salespeople must develop one skill above all others: the ability to continuously learn. Part 10. The spirit of continuous learning. The moment you feel good enough is the moment you start falling behind. Markets, customer behavior, and technology are changing constantly. What you know today could be outdated in just a few months. If you're not proactively updating yourself, no one will warn you, and by the time you realize you've been outpaced, others will have moved 3 steps ahead. Great salespeople don't wait for training sessions. They create space to refresh their thinking and skills every day. What you need to do right now is build a serious personal learning system. Each week, read at least one chapter of a book or follow a top expert in the industry. Each month, attend a workshop, take a course, or summarize 5 new things you've learned directly from your customers. Keep a skills journal after every call. Record your presentations and listen back to refine them. No one is born a great salesperson, but anyone can become a better version of themselves if they commit to learning continuously. But even if you learn consistently every day, there's still one golden rule to remember: never grow complacent. Not even for a second. Part 11. Never get complacent. Complacency is the silent dagger that stabs your performance. Many salespeople start strong, achieve some results, and then start to ease off. They prepare less, practice less, and stop learning, and begin to decline without realizing it. Comfort is the most dangerous temptation in the sales profession. If you want to stay at peak performance, you must live with a healthy sense of unease, the kind that keeps you alert and always moving forward. Ask yourself every week, if I stop today, who would overtake me tomorrow? The world of sales is not for those who rely solely on instinctive effort. You either do it right and lead, or you get silently eliminated. It's time to put an end to sugar-coated language, shallow thinking, and trend-following behavior. No one has time to listen to someone who doesn't understand real needs. Ever wonder why some people close 10 deals a week while others struggle for a single appointment all month? Maybe it's not the market that's tough. Maybe the approach is flawed from the ground up. Every call is a battle. Every email is a strategic attack. You either advance or get wiped off the customer's radar. Hesitating means erasing yourself from an increasingly brutal playing field. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.